So what has changed in the radio industry from when you were starting to now?
Oh, so much. I mean, back in the day, radio was one of the very few mass mediums that people could participate in. You had radio, you had television, you could go out to a movie, you could read a book or a magazine. When it came to TV, you had, I don't know, 20, 30 channels, max. You didn't have the the mega cineplexes that we have today. I mean, I didn't rent my first VHS music video, or VHS video movie, period, until sometime in 1986. So radio had a bigger part of your entertainment pie.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because you didn't have all these other distractions.
Yeah.
And all these other options. Now, though, I mean, there's radio, there's the internet, there's social media, there's video games, there's mega cineplexes, there's giant bookstores, there's 5,000 channels on television, there's Apple TV and Netflix and YouTube and all this other stuff. So radio has got this smaller piece of the pie compared to what it did back in the day. And today, radio is still, the traditional AM and FM radio is not two-way communication. It's only one way. And people are expecting more interactivity with their media. That's something that radio is going to have to work on moving forward. But, if you've got YouTube and social media, you do something and something is done back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Streaming music, you have control over the music. YouTube, you have control over the videos. All that sort of stuff. So that's the big difference there, is that it's not what it used to be because the world and the audience changed so much.
What about breaking an artist onto the radio versus back then versus today?
Well, oddly enough, that is still the same. The quickest way to gain exposure to a mass audience is to get your song on the radio. Still works. I mean, 90% of the population uses radio every single week. So it's so efficient that this is why managers, agents, record labels, bands, that's why everybody wants their song on the radio, because it still works, and it works really, really well.
Yeah. So radio is, in your eyes, still the best to...
It's to do what?
Well, to break an artist onto the radio, what does it take?
Well, it's an essential part of it. It's not the only part. Back in the day, if you did not get your song on the radio and racked up front at the record store, you were doomed.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, your career is over. However, there are other options now, but still, you want to be on the radio because that's where you get your maximum exposure.
What other methods are you aware of that can catapult an artist's career to, like, the radio?
Catapult an artist's career to the radio. Well, that's interesting. I mean, one of the things that you really need to have as an artist is somebody that's fighting for you. I mean, you're an artist, you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you're a musician. You don't necessarily have time to go out and badger people to play your music, so you need a publicist, or you need a manager, or you need a record label. I mean, record labels are far from being obsolete. They are very good at distribution and marketing. They're the people that get behind your record and make sure it gets in front of the right people so it gets exposure. Now, it could be exposure on radio, it could be exposure on television, on a video channel, it could be exposure in terms of getting it licensed for a TV show or a movie soundtrack. All these things are really important. So the idea is to have somebody fighting for you so you can concentrate on the music.
Is YouTube or Facebook enough?
It's not enough. It's an important part of the equation. I mean, ask Shawn Mendes and he'll tell you that, I couldn't have done it without YouTube. Ask Bieber, ask Psy. YouTube is very important, but again, it's not all or nothing. It's an important part of the puzzle. And one of the interesting things about YouTube is that you can have a video that's seen by an awful lot of people, but it doesn't necessarily increase the engagement the audience has with you as an artist. So you need to be a YouTube artist, and you need to be on Facebook, and you also need to be on Twitter, and you also need to be on the radio, and you need to have music video on television. You have to have songs licensed to something to hit as many people as you possibly can. YouTube is important. It's very important, but